All right, guys, welcome to Golazo España. This is my first ever upload to this new YouTube channel. Now, what I'll be doing is I'll be reviewing the 4 Spanish football dailies every day of the week and picking out the most, important bits, I think, or the things that I think you will find of interest. Now, if you're from Cop Talk TV, I've been reviewing the Spanish football dailies for what feels like eternity. I go through them looking for anything to do with Liverpool Football Club, obviously, past and present players, transfer speculation. It started really because of the Trent Alexander-Arnold and Real Madrid stuff, but also Martin Zubimendi, Mamardashvili, Luis Diaz, Barcelona, and so on, right? And that channel, Cop Talk TV, because I've been doing that coverage, has attracted a lot of Real Madrid fans who say, hey, I really enjoy your coverage of, when you touch on Real Madrid, from what I read in the papers here in Spain. And I've seen more and more Real Madrid fans join, and they say, wish you did another channel and stuff like that. And that's basically how this channel's come around. And I could put this content on there, on Cop Talk, which is where I would rather put it. But it would then, maybe it would annoy people, because it's not specifically about Liverpool Football Club. And also it would take up a notification. As you know, YouTube only sends out 3 notifications in a 24-hour period. So to keep things separate, I'm just going to put things over here on this channel. So, if you watch Cop Talk TV and you watch my review of the Spanish dailies for the Liverpool stuff, you will know that afterwards I will be over here and also updating this channel, hopefully. It's not really going to take me any longer. It's going to take me however long it takes me to record a video. This one's going to be pretty long, I think. Because I reviewed the papers in the cafe anyway, and I review a lot of things to do with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico, whatever, and I skipped that because my audience is Liverpool fans and they're not going to want to know about it. But I enjoy Spanish football. I live in Spain, and it gets me away from the Liverpool stuff a bit. So if you've come to my channel, I'm very grateful. Please read the video description for the links to the Facebook page and the X account, which I've created today. Please subscribe, and I'd appreciate if if you have got social media, if you just give it a mention or whatever. And I will try my very hardest for you. So it is the first time that I've focused on things away from Liverpool Football Club, Spanish football in general. So bear with me. I will come up with a format that I think will work. This might be a little bit too long. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. And you're going to have to get used to my pronunciations of names, which I'm terrible with anyway. You know that if you've watched my videos for years. If it's not Jack Daniels or John Smith's, it's just no chance. So anyway, please read the video description. It's very, very important. Okay, so what have we got in the on the front pages of the Spanish dailies today? Well, MARCA is the challenge of the 17. MARCA go all in on the challenge of the 17. That's the number of games Madrid have to win if they want a shot at the treble, La Liga, Champions League, Copa del Rey. They host Leganes tonight, who've already shocked both Barca and Atleti this season. It's all building up to a tense finish. Same story here too. Osasuna's challenge against Barca is noted, with debate continuing over Inigo Martinez's eligibility. That's all the stuff on the front page here, right? What's basically, given reference here. We then go to, and I will go more in depth in this in a moment, but let's just take a look at the front pages. We've got AS here. I know it's not pronounced AS, but when I pronounce it, the Spanish name of it, YouTube thinks I'm talking about a woman's ass. You know what I mean? So I've got to be, of all the words I use, it always flags me for that one. So I call it AS, right? And this is basically, I didn't know Tebas wanted to be a coach. This is Ancelotti here. What else is on the front page? Let's have a look. AS lead with a fiery quote from Carlo Ancelotti. I didn't know Tebas wanted to be a coach. The Real Madrid boss has clearly had enough of the league president interfering with fixture dates. He warns Madrid might not even show up if matches keep getting moved around at the last minute. Also on the front, Osasuna have lodged a formal complaint against Barcelona for fielding Inigo Martinez, claiming he wasn't eligible to play after withdrawing from Spain duty. Moving on away from the Real Madrid newspapers to the Barcelona newspapers, and we have Sport here, which is 6 matches without Olmo. So they focus on that. He's out with a thigh issue and will miss some huge games, including the second leg of the Copa semi-final and both Dortmund clashes in Europe. They also highlight Ancelotti's comments about Tebas, Osasuna's challenge over the Barca game, and a tough test ahead of Atletico against Cornellà. Moving on to Mundo Deportivo, which again is a Barcelona newspaper, or pro-Barcelona. They paint a grim picture for Barca with their headline, hellish schedule. They could be forced to play 10 games in just 32 days, and Coach Flick's already warning that chasing the treble will take a huge physical toll. Also mentioned is Dani Olmo's injury, putting him out for 3 weeks, and Osasuna's protest over Inigo Martinez is once again in the headlines. So we're going to go back to MARCA, if I can get my mouse to work here, and we're going to go in here. Ancelotti's final sprint. All right, now these are the notes that I've put together when I was in the cafe this morning. Taking a closer look at MARCA, they quote Ancelotti in an article titled "Ancelotti's Final Sprint." And they say, every game increases the responsibility. No, this is Ancelotti. Sorry, quoted Ancelotti. I've missed my own bubbles speech things. Every game increases the responsibility we have because every game can be decisive in winning the 3 titles we can win. Hopefully, we have 17 games left because that means we'll fight in all competitions until the end. I'm focused on this part of the season, which is vital for us. We have something very close and we don't want to lose it. Now, MARCA writes, it's clear that Ancelotti had the 17 remaining matches, which will define almost the entire season, on his mind in his press conference. There are 10 La Liga games, starting with today's against Leganes, 5 in the Champions League if they reach the final, with the first leg against Arsenal on April 8th, and the same number of matches in the Copa del Rey if the final is played at La Cartuja, with the return leg of the semi-finals against Real Sociedad next week. Also in MARCA, there's an article titled Ancelotti is backing Arbeloa's invention. And they write that Diego Aguado has been called up against Leganes after the youth squad member, along with Victor Valdepeñas, was part of the Real Madrid squad for the last match against Villarreal to bolster the defence. I don't think I've read that very well, has I? Diego Aguado has been called up again against Leganes after the youth squad member, along with Victor Valdepeñas, was part of Real Madrid squad for the last match against Villarreal to bolster the defence, following Mendy's injury suffered days earlier at the Metropolitano, which will keep him out for a few more matches. This time, Aguado will be the only one on the bench at the Santiago Bernabeu today, after Valdepeñas played yesterday under Raúl for Real Madrid Castilla. Diego Aguado, who made his first team debut as a centre-back alongside Asensio, and he's been great, hasn't he, Asensio, in the first round of the Copa del Rey against Deportivo Minera, is included in the squad this time with a different mission. Ancelotti is backing Arbeloa's creation with the young youth player whom he has used at left-back in recent matches with more than outstanding results. Aguado, who is 18, a powerful, fast, physically resilient defender with a good foot, has blossomed into a great left-back. This is a strength Ancelotti now wants to capitalise on, as he will have him on the bench today as a replacement for Fran Garcia, who also suffered a muscle problem last week, from which he is, in principle, fully recovered. Should a setback occur with the Real Madrid number 20, the possibility of investing in Aguado is another option for the Italian coach. And, some of you Liverpool fans, right, you're not interested in really what Real Madrid are doing today, maybe. But me as a Liverpool fan, I want to know about these kids that are coming through, who's going to be pushing for that left-back spot and stuff like that, like we know about the centre-backs at Real Madrid, the youngsters that are coming through. You start to know, because if they pop up in squads and that, and you're about to play them, you're like, oh, I remember that kid, do you know what I mean? So, also in MARCA is an article, we're going to try to beat the 3 big teams, which is a write-up relating to Leganes boss, Borja Jimenez. who is hoping to serve up another giant killing after securing wins over Barca and Atletico Madrid this season. He is quoted as saying, "We're heading into a very tough scenario, but even knowing how difficult it is, we've shown we're capable, just like we did against Barca and Atletico, who, along with Madrid, are probably the strongest teams in La Liga. On the pitch, it's 11 against 11. In these kind of matches, the players have extra motivation and tend to give their best. The difficulty is on their side too. But we're sticking to the goal of trying to beat all three giants, something I believe no newly promoted team has ever managed." So that'd be interesting if they did that, right? Real Madrid, second, 3 points behind leaders Barca, both on 28 games. Host Leganes, 18th, third from bottom in La Liga at 8 o'clock UK time this evening. There's a website that I use, it's liveonsat.com. That gives you live coverage if your friend has a dodgy box or dongle. All right, so liveonsat.com, it lists the fixtures and it'll tell you every channel that's showing the game, which makes it a little bit easier if you're trying to find them. So what other games are there today? Espanyol versus Atletico Madrid. So Espanyol, 15th. They host Atletico, third, 7 points behind leaders Barca now in La Liga today. The game gets underway at 3:15 UK time. Atletico Madrid head to the RCDE Stadium to face Espanyol in what's shaping up to be a high-stakes clash for both sides, though for very different reasons. So Diego Simeone reminded reporters that, quote, "the last 5 games decide the season. But to even be in the mix come that point, Atletico need to stop the rot and rediscover their best league form." They threw it away, didn't they? You know, they were doing ever so well at the top of the table. I wanted him to win the league. Cafe owner, he's Atletico Madrid fan. What else does it say? After back-to-back defeats, the Getafe, I pronounce it, and Barca, and a hectic start to 2025 that's seen them slip in the title race, this away trip could be make or break. Espanyol, meanwhile, are treating this as a must-win in their battle for survival. They've made their home a fortress. 23 of their 28 points have come at the RCDE, and they haven't lost there since October. That's impressive. While Atletico arriving depleted, Coque and Correa, both out, and several South American internationals returning with heavy legs. This fixture is loaded with potential for an upset. Griezmann's expected to break the record for most La Liga appearances by a foreigner, but he'll need to lead from the front if Atleti are to keep believing in the title dream. Real Sociedad, they are playing Valladolid. That game's about to get underway, I believe. 50 minutes from the time of recording right now. So Real Sociedad are now 12th. Valladolid are rock bottom. That game gets underway at 1 o'clock UK time. Real Sociedad, Martin Zubimendi's team, of course, and also Kubo. I did have the notifications flash up for me a minute ago. Let's see if I can see if they're playing. Zubimendi's playing and Kubo is playing as well, just in case you're interested, if you are a Liverpool fan. Excuse me. Real Sociedad returned from the international break with no room for error. After 6 games without a win and struggling badly in front of goal, they welcome bottom of the table Valladolid, a side already staring relegation in the face. But this fixture is trickier than it looks on paper. Real Sociedad have one eye on next week's Copa del Rey semi-final second leg at the Bernabeu, and there's a real chance that Emmanuel Alguacil will rotate heavily with key players like Oyarzabal, I see that's how I break down the pronunciations to help me out, possibly starting on the bench. Valladolid, meanwhile, are rock bottom, 11 points adrift of safety, but they've got nothing to lose. Well, they've got the game to lose. They're missing the first choice goalkeeper, Carl Hein, is that Carl Hein? Through injury. The more I read about these things, the more I'll learn, hopefully. And we'll make changes up front too, with Latassa returning. The match could hinge on young talent taking their chance. Real sausages! Real sausages! It doesn't say that here. I shit you not, it does not say. Oh my days! That's amazing. Fucking hell. Keir Starmer. Oh, that's a good I fancy that. We're going to call them Real Sausages forever now. Real Sociedad's Pablo Marin, a standout from the academy, might step in again. Oh, dear me. While Amala will be looking to finally show why Bayadoli brought him in, even if he struggled for consistency. Love it. Ah, dear me. Right, what else have we got? Alves are playing Rayo Vallecano. Rayo Vallecano. Alves is 17th. Rayo are 9th. That's at 5:30 UK time. Alves and Rayo face off with very different pressures on their shoulders. Alves are fighting to keep clear of the relegation zone and coming to this one unbeaten in their last 3 league games. Meanwhile, Rayo are on a poor run, 5 games without a win, and need to turn things around fast if they want to stay in the hunt for a European spot. The reverse fixture ended 1-0 in Rayo's favour, but things have changed since then. The home side will be fired up at Mendizorroza. Mendizorroza. See, in Spain, a Z is like where in this area it's a TH. Like some people pronounce Zubamendi, right? You know, like in English, but here where I am, it's Zubamendi, you know. So, but this is saying, let's stick with more of an English pronunciation. I think Mendizorroza or Mendizorroza, whatever you want. With the players and coach calling this first of 10 finals in their survival push. They're building confidence, especially after that dramatic performance against Villarreal before the break. Rayo, on the other hand, have had a brutal run of fixtures, Barca, Villarreal, Madrid, and are hoping a softer schedule can get them climbing the table. Veteran Trejo even said playing in Europe again with Rayo would be like a World Cup. Now, moving on to some general news now. Dani Alves. Do you remember him, Dani Alves? Liverpool, they stiffed around him years ago, didn't they? I remember that back in the day. He's been acquitted of sexual assault. Now, AS writes, the High Court of Justice of Catalonia overturned the previous ruling by the Barcelona court that had sentenced him to 4.5 years in prison. The court ruled in favour of his presumption of innocence, stating that the evidence and the accuser's testimony were not strong enough to uphold the conviction. The case stemmed from an incident at a Barcelona nightclub in December 2022. While Alves had already spent more than a year in prison, the new ruling highlighted inconsistencies between the accuser's account and video surveillance footage, as well as the other evidence presented in court. The judges noted that while they didn't rule out the accusation entirely, the evidence didn't meet the threshold for a conviction, so the benefit of the doubt went to Alves. It's a huge moment in a high-profile case that's drawn attention well beyond the pitch, involving one of Brazil's most decorated players, formerly of Sevilla, Barcelona, Juventus and PSG. When there's always these serious accusations involving, footballers and chicks, you know what I mean, like women, girls, whatever, you just don't know, do you? Because you have that thing that sometimes you think, is it really happened, or they're just trying to get money, are they, making allegations, because of who it is, and then I look at the flip side and think, well, is it because it's a football and I think they can do what they want, and you know what I mean? And then they've got that, well, I never did anything, she's just making it up against me. You just never know with this stuff, do you? So I always keep an open mind on it, because unless you've seen all the evidence yourself, you shouldn't pass opinion on things, I think. Moving on, sports. Flick's big dilemma without Dani Olmo, which we've touched on. The piece focuses on the impact of Olmo's injury and how Hansi Flick plans to cover his absence in a crucial stretch of the season. With Olmo sidelined for 3 weeks due to an adductor issue, the German coach is without one of his most influential players. He's got 8 goals and 5 assists in 28 appearances this season. His absence comes at the worst possible time. Think to that Real sausage again. With key matches, I hope everyone's come over from Cop Talk to see this. With key matches looming against Girona in La Liga, Atletico in the Copa del Rey semi-final second leg, and Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League quarter-finals. Thankfully for Flick, midfield is an area where Barca are stacked. Rather than replacing Olmo directly, Sport reports that the plan is to rotate several players in that attacking midfield role. There's Gavi, Lopez, Torre are the top contenders, with Flick also occasionally using Ferran Torres and Rafinha in central roles when chasing a game. The article highlights how Gavi has been used all over the pitch, Fermin Lopez made an instant impact off the bench against Osasuna, and Pablo Torre continues to impress in flashes despite limited minutes. Now, you ready for this one? You didn't expect this. Mundo Deportivo have an article today confirming that Spain will bid to host the 2035 Women's World Cup. The news comes from Rafael Luzan. See, Louzan again. Luzan, the president of the Spanish Football Federation, who made the announcement yesterday. The paper highlights that this would be a major milestone, as Spain has never hosted a major women's international tournament before. Not even a women's Euros, it says here. Mundo Deportivo remind readers that Spain has hosted the Men's World Cup in 1982 and is set to co-host the 2030 edition with Portugal and Morocco. If the 2035 bid is successful, it would mark the first ever Women's World Cup on Spanish soil, a big step forward in the country's growing commitment to women's football. And they are very committed to women's football here. These newspapers, there are pages and pages and pages dedicated to the women's football. I never read it because I'm not interested in women's football. I've got enough going on with the men's side of things. But sometimes I do think, maybe have a look at some fit birds, like, you know what I'm saying? But no, they take it very, very seriously here. I'm not sure how much coverage it gets back in the UK in the print media, but that is something I'm going to do after here. I'm going to go over to Cop Talk TV, review what's in the English papers today regarding Liverpool. And the more I read those papers for my Cop Talk audience, the more I'll start to see about that, right? Because I don't usually read the papers, to be honest with you. Because, you know, what's in a printed newspaper in England is already online the day before as a rule, right? So, but I'll learn as I go along, just like I'm going to learn more about these different clubs. Knowledge is power. So, now for something interesting. Not in the papers at all. I just wanted to, like, at the end of these updates, I want to do, like, something interesting, you know what I'm saying? And you can be the judge of it, right? Whether it's interesting or not. Spain's national team holds the record for the most UEFA European Championship titles, having won 4 times. They clinched the championship in 1964, 2008, 2012, and most recently in 2024. Notably, during the 2024 tournament, Spain became the first team to win all 7 matches in a single European Championship, setting a new record of 15 goals scored throughout the competition. Was that interesting? All right, okay, so my little notes here at the bottom to tell you Golazo España is on X and Facebook. Same username on X, but on Facebook. While you can search Golazo España, the username is actually at Spanish Football News, facebook.com/at Spanish Football News. Someone else has got the name on there. They've not used it for 8 years or something, which is annoying. Please thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. I know it's my first go. We've had a giggle as well, haven't we? But I'd appreciate if you do that. Drop me a comment. It's very important to comment. It shows interaction on the channel. And if you want this channel to succeed, if you want me to be motivated, then please do take the time to thumbs up and drop me a comment. Even if you're watching this video and you don't like me and you thumbs down, YouTube still considers that an interaction with the channel, so it's still as valuable as a thumbs up. Ironically, I only discovered that recently. The channel isn't monetized, but there's a number of links in the video description should you wish to buy me a coffee in the cafe where I compiled this update, or a beer if you prefer to think of me kick back on the Mediterranean over the weekend. Do you know what I'm saying? All right, guys, that's it. So was my first update all right? Yeah, I'll get the hang of it a bit and I'll start to work out, you know, maybe it was a bit too long. I don't know, did I just have the right balance there? Is there anything in particular you'd like me to focus on to do with the Spanish football, or what you don't want me to focus on? It's your channel and I will do my very best to give you what you want. All right, so hope you enjoyed the update. Please thumbs up, please drop me a comment, read the video description if you want to buy me a coffee or a beer. It's weekend tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's a weekend now, but tomorrow I'm going to have a beer. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you on the other side. Cop Talk, maybe, or on my other channel, Duncan Oldham, or whatever. I'll see you somewhere, all right? Make sure you subscribe, all right? And all being well, I'll be back here tomorrow. Sundays are a bit different, no, I've got to be honest with you. Sundays are a bit different. The cafe's closed on a Sunday, so I don't have that, like, peaceful environment and more formal, you know what I mean? So Sundays, but I'll still take a look and see what's what. But I'm out tomorrow at 1:30. I'm going to watch David Villa's CF Benidorm play and I've been looking forward to it all week. And that's another reason why I wanted to do this channel, so I can like show you some different things, you know, some of the football stadiums we go to down the divisions and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean, guys? Please check the video description and follow me on those, you know, those social media platforms. And let's see if we can get a nice little community, a nice little family together. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? All right then, see you in a bit. All right.